Welcome to Ageless by Rescu. This podcast is devoted to exploring the science of rejuvenation, uncovering the most trusted experts, the must-have products, innovations, and technology in the field of vitality, aesthetics, new beauty, and cosmetic enhancement. Well, my favorite episodes are when I get to do it with friends and industry colleagues. And I'm so excited to introduce you to Sigourney Cantelo, a beauty expert of over 20 years, the former beauty editor of Vogue. I remember very clearly the first time I met you. And now you run your Beauticate empire, which I'm also delighted when you came into my office and we were talking about it as a concept. And now, it's one of the most respected and sought after sites in the beauty space. Welcome to Ageless by Rescu, my friend.
Thank you, Bahar. That is such a kind introduction. And I feel the same. I mean, it's amazing watching you build your empire. And we've known each other a very long time. My goodness.
We have. Do you want me to tell the story of the first time I saw you?
Yes, I would love that.
I want to say this has got to be at least 15 years ago. And it was in Potts Point, and I was with another friend, and we were walking, and you walked past us. And before you walked past us and our mutual friend knew you and stopped you and chatted to you, I remember looking over and being actually astonished by your beauty and thinking, she is so pretty. What a beautiful woman. And then I remember meeting you and just really having a visceral reaction to how fresh and youthful and beautiful you were. And it was really funny. So, you really made an impression, like literally walking down the street.
I remember meeting you. I remember that day. Yes. Oh my goodness. So long ago. It must be at least 15, maybe 20.
Yes. And I remember you getting engaged, and I remember you getting married. And I remember when you had Max and I came over to see you at the house. And so we really do go a long way back.
Oh, yes, we do.
I think I gave Lulu her first Gucci dress.
Yeah, we still have it. She finally fits it. We've had it packed away, waiting for her to get big enough.
For her big Gucci moment.
So thank you for having me.
Look,
yes, absolutely.
One of the things that I like talking to you about is, the evolution of the beauty industry. And, having both of us been in the industry for such a long time, you see, really clear moments in time of trend. And, there was a real fascination with AHAs, and then there was which was kind of the early start of the cosmeceutical conversation. So, we went from luxury to performance-based skincare. We went to designer fragrance, designer makeup, and then, the onset of clean and natural and organic. And I'm interested to know, from your time at Vogue, which was, it's at that time such a powerful time to be a beauty editor, because the beauty industry was a juggernaut, but really the underpinning of most retail stores is the beauty department. Most magazines and publications, it's the beauty content. What do you remember from there, and how has it changed in the past 20 years?
Oh, so it's changed in so many ways. I mean, for starters, it's a fragmentation, right? So it used to be the big corporates, the big brands that owned the world, and there was very few indie brands. And now there's just so much choice. There's so many, there's real democratization of beauty in so many actually different senses. But in a way, anyone can start a beauty brand, and they can market it through social media, and they can have incredible success. And I mean, they probably will get bought out by one of the big guys eventually, if they do reach a certain point. But then you look at brands like, Trini, who are huge, and I don't know if she's got plans to sell anytime soon, but there's these brands as well who are quite resolute in being, self-owned and self-funded. So I think that's one aspect of it. I think social media has changed things like astonishingly, and also the last year and the last 2 years of the pandemic as well. Us being so close and personal with our faces on Zoom and really examining, it's kind of like the new wave of skincare is kind of happening. Like, I feel like, we got really into makeup with the whole rise of the selfie, and then now it's like we're suddenly really aware of our skin, and being at home with, you know, you've got time to mask. So yeah, I mean, it goes in waves, doesn't it? There's still a huge appreciation for makeup, and I love the way, when I say democratization as well, the way it's for everybody now, you know, guys, and it's genderless, it's ageless, it's you know, all ethnicities. And I think that's a fantastic direction that we should be heading. And finally, we're having these conversations, you know, around having colors for every skin color and all that kind of thing. So I think it's been a long awaited change that the beauty industry has needed to make. And yeah, it's finally happening.
Do you know what I love is, and I remember this really clearly when you came in to have a conversation with me about the launch of Beauticate, and it's not lost on me that the back end of the name is a Kate, which is about education. And I think that, you know, with this explosion of the industry, the thing that I'm always asked, the DMs that I get, even the client questions that I have is, how do we break through, and how do we educate the customer? How do we educate the end consumer about the point of difference of our brand, how to use the product, and the why? And I'm interested to know why you really decided to go down the path of education, having come from, you know, a background of, I guess, storytelling, and then you narrowed in on what aspect of the storytelling is most important.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when I was working in magazines, I felt there was not as much connection with the reader back then because of, because we were one-sided. You know, we put the magazine out, they read it, kind of thing. You'd occasionally get readers' letters and emails. And the most connection I had with readers was at reader events, where I would chat to the women afterwards, or, you know, during, and they'd tell me all their concerns. And I was always blown away by how much confusion there was and how much overwhelm there was with just the dizzying array of products that were available. So that was always in the back of my mind when I thought about creating a site. But I did keep the storytelling aspect in the profiles and the interviews that we did. And so I kind of tried to fuse the two together. And I kind of came up with the idea of the who's and the how-tos of beauty. So the who's were our interviews with influential and inspiring people. And we featured you on the site as well when you launched your book.
Yeah, you did when I did my book. That's right.
Yeah, it was wonderful. It's so glamorous, so glamorous.
It's still one of my favorite shoots. I feel like I look, you know, infinitely more elevated.
Always look beautiful, but this shoot you did look spectacularly beautiful. And yes, and so the who's, and then on the other side is the how-tos. So yeah, that education part has always been really important to me. And yeah, now we're sort of, you know, building the community and swapping tips. We're doing this hashtag Beauticate tip thing now on social, where we share tips among the community. And so I just want to kind of get the conversations going, and we learn so much from each other. So I kind of wanted to increase that conversation and drive people to share their best tips.
One of the other things that, you know, I've always known and admired about you is that I think you were one of the early adopters of clean eating, a clean lifestyle, organic. I remember you telling me about, you know, your routine of preparing food. I remember when you were making your own kombucha. I remember when you were doing all sorts of really quite dedicated things to the control of your own health narrative, your own, that 360 approach to beauty. Tell me when that kind of came on your radar, and why it came on your radar.
Yeah, look, I think it was when I was at Vogue, and so my job was, you know, beauty and health. So I was always trying to be aware of the latest things as they came. I was, after Max, I wasn't feeling very good in my body after having Max, my first child. So I it took a while to sort of, like, none of my clothes fit, and I just felt yuck. And I started training with trainer Ricardo Escala, and who
I know and I've trained with as well.
Yeah, he's fantastic. And he really researches stuff. And I was always like, we'd have these sessions and he'd just have the latest Harvard study, and he'd know all about stuff. And he started talking about gut health way back before it was a thing. And he got me making my own kombucha and sauerkraut and even kefir and things like that. I've always been really interested in health, and you know, and when I figured out I could do stuff myself, I was kind of like really interested in that. I bought a dehydrator and I was making like, you know, crisps that were raw, like all sorts of things. Having said that, now I've got 2 children. I don't have as much time as I used to, and probably not as dedicated. Although Max said to me the other day, he's like, "Mummy, can we make the kombucha again?" So, you know, he does like it. But yeah, no, there are, I find there's definitely much more of a movement now than it was then, but there's always new things.
So in terms of the new things and, you know, the discoveries, we're both very lucky. Not only do we do the research, but we're also sent an enormous amount of research. So we're kind of a great gatekeeper for information. And for both of us in what we do, it's about mastering your area and going deeper into it. And, you know, for the Ageless conversation, which was a transition from the Rescu conversation, which was a transition from my background in beauty. You know, I was an importer of 36 niche brands. And before that, I was general manager for 2 Estee Lauder company brands. So for me, it's been evolution, evolution, evolution. And when I wanted to do Ageless, I really had, you know, I was in my mid-40s. And the thing that I had learned over and over again is that it really is multimodality, and beauty is a 360-degree conversation. And exactly as you said, to talk about collagen skin creams without talking about ingestibles, to talk about getting a glow without talking about gut health, you're not telling the full story. It's actually irresponsible to just put it out there that, you know, this one product or this mono ingredient topical product can give you so many things. And I think that that's been part of, you know, the excitement around the beauty industry for me, and has kept me really passionate about it. What are you excited about?
I mean, in terms of food, or are we talking about the whole
beauty
thing?
Yeah, the whole
I mean, like I am excited about the ingestibles trend. I think there's a lot of truth in it, but, you know, I also think that there's a lot of you know, there's a lot of products that claim to do more than they do. So I mean, but that's the beauty industry, right? It's always been hope in a jar, you know. So
absolutely.
And the placebo effect. Yeah, exactly. And the placebo effect is, you know, sometimes 90% of the journey, you know, like if you believe it's doing something, then you have the confidence, you shine, you radiate, you look great. So I think that's often part of it. I'm really loving all the skin tools that are coming out.
I love watching your skin tools.
Like microcurrents and LED lights, masks at home.
Tell me about microcurrents. How often are you doing that? And what is it? For the uninitiated.
It's for the uninitiated, the New Face is the device that I use, and it sends an electrical current through your skin to sort of tone your facial muscles. To be honest, I don't do it nearly as much as I should, but when I do, I notice an instant difference. So I'm thinking, you know, I really need to, you know, I've left it out on my counter so that I can do it. It does take, it's a bit of a commitment. Like I think Microcurrent want you to do it. New Face suggests doing it 5 times a week for the first, I don't know, it must maybe 6 weeks or something, and then you can go back to 3 times a week or something. And it takes a good amount of time. So you kind of glide the machine up your face, you know, in several areas, and then you move around the face. But having said that, I've tested it on both sides of my face before, and you'll see a marked difference on the side that you've done straight away, so you know it's doing something. I love it when there's instant results. That's really
Don't
cool.
we all? I mean, we're all looking for, you know, the miracle.
100%.
What about the light therapy? Have you been doing that for a while? Did you start off, you know, under the school of Omnilux when we used to all?
Yeah, we used to go and do the Omnilux in the salons, and I always found it, like, I loved it, but I never could get back to do the treatments. And so I'd see a little bit of a difference, but never was very religious about it, because you had to go into salon and you're supposed to do it like quite a lot, like a few times a week, I think.
I bought the machine. That's how dedicated I was. And I loved it so much. I bought the full Big Bertha, I think 7 years ago, from the distributor. I loved it. I believe in it so much.
Do you still use it?
Yes, I do, but more for my body, because now I have the Omnilux mask, which is so good. And I do my Hannibal Lecter around the house while I'm, now that I'm the appointed cleaner of the home since we've been in lockdown. I wear my mask, but I do a lot
of cleaning. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I do use my, Big Bertha, as I like to call her, on my boobs and on my tummy. And yeah, I love it. Neck.
God, I need a Bertha. I need a Bertha for sure. I'm obsessed with the mask. So I started off using Dr. Gross, and I liked it, but I was always like, 2 minutes, is that long enough? Does it feel long enough? I mean, you meant to do it 2 minutes more often, I think 5 times a week or something. And then I got the Omnilux Contour, and I'm loving that. And I'm doing that. I do it when I meditate. So It's just so relaxing. It just adds that extra layer. Like you feel like you're sitting in the sun meditating. It's heaven. And I put it on my neck. So I do, because it's 10 minutes and I do a 20-minute meditation. So halfway through my meditation, I groggily kind of tear it off and then put it on my chest and give it another 10 minutes on my chest.
Well, you've segued beautifully into my biohacking questions.
Yes.
So we talked about, diet, gut health, which again, I was like amazed. And you taught me a lot about, investigating, cleaner eating, less sugar, biofermented, good. But tell me about the other revitalization rituals that you have discovered and the ones that you think really play into that whole concept of like the best version of yourself, a vital, sense of energy, clarity, and then ultimately beauty, because, a lot of this work is to reduce inflammation, to reduce cortisol, to reduce the aging, the intrinsic aging process.
100%. Definitely meditation. So I've done probably 3 meditation courses now. And I learned Vedic meditation. So with Gary Goro, probably it was around, I was pregnant with Max, so it must be about 10 years ago. And I've been doing it on and off. I stopped when I was, I think when I was pregnant with Lulu, I stopped, but pretty much solidly. So you do, you're supposed to do 2 20-minute sessions a day, although I really struggle to do that.
I've learned TM, and that's 2 20 minutes, which is kind of the father of Vedic.
Do you do it?
When I do, it's remarkable. Like it literally is the difference that makes the difference. And even for healing. So if you've ever had a sickness or surgery, or even post, like when I was in hospital with Lily and I had 7 weeks in hospital with placenta previa, and then I came out and I had, scarring and muscle atrophy because I hadn't walked for, 2 months.
Oh my goodness.
The meditation was the only thing I did that made a massive difference to my cellular health and my recovery. It was remarkable. And I've had 2 nose jobs, one when I was 18 and one a revision when I was 25. And the only thing that I did for aftercare was TM meditation, and I didn't bruise.
Wow.
My recovery.
I didn't know you were a TM meditator. Wow. That's so interesting.
But I really.
But why don't you do it every day now if you know the effects?
I know, but this is the same as like, why do we eat sugar when we know what the effects are? Why do we drink too much wine when we know what the effects are? The human nature.
I know, you're right.
The human condition.
It's just hard.
It's naughty. So tell me about. So you do your meditation, and what benefits have you seen from it?
Lately, it's really helped me through this lockdown period. It's just kept my head a lot better than it was. Like last year during lockdown, I didn't do it, and it was a very different experience. So having that, and I've been journaling, which I always I thought I journaled because I've had a journal all my life, but that wasn't like journaling in this sense. It was just writing down, like when I got angry or stressed out, I would write, right? But I wasn't actually doing setting aside a specific amount of time every day. Someone sent me this 5-minute journal, and it's just got a page a day, and it's got 3 things you're grateful for in the morning, 3 things that would make today amazing, and then at the end of the day you do 3 amazing things that happened and something you do differently. So it holds you accountable, and it just sets you up. So 5 minutes in the morning after I meditate, and then 5 minutes before I go to bed. And it's honestly, for mindset, it's made huge difference. That, and then just certain exercise stuff like exercising outdoors. I know that's really obvious and simple, but we've just moved close to the beach, which I just can't believe it's took me until I'm 40 years old to move closer to the beach. It's just such a game changer. Like, I just feel so good. We can see a speck of the ocean from our bedroom window. So I open up the windows in the morning and I look at the ocean, and getting out there and walking out in nature, and what was the other thing that I've been doing? Oh, I've been doing Kaya workouts.
Yes, I did them too. She's been so good.
Oh
They're
my
wonderful.
gosh, they're amazing. She's so good.
She really is
so
so
yeah,
good.
really recommended that. That helped my head as well, just mindset as well during lockdown. So I think definitely your mindset is everything, and that kind of, I think that will always affect the way you look and the way you hold yourself, and the way you interact with people, and that's definitely part of beauty.
And what about aesthetics? What are some of the aesthetic treatments? We get, in full disclosure, we get offered everything. Like, truly, we could probably have a full stem cell regeneration if we wanted to. So it does come down to research, and it does come down to personal preference. I'm so interested in the science of aesthetics and regeneration. Like, to me, regeneration is the last bastion of luxury, because what's the point of having wealth and success if you don't have a fit, vital body and soul to enjoy it? But I'm interested to see, what are the things that you've tried, what are the things that you like, and what are the things that are a no-go for you?
Let's think. Well, I'm not shy of a bit of Botox. It's just one of those. Oh, I think I've just lost the connection. Oh, there you are. Yeah, it's just one of those really easy, instant fixes that works. And I'm really missing it actually at the moment. Although I've been using all the tools, and I think that definitely helps. I've tried filler, didn't work for me. It just made I got these weird dents in my face when I had filler. So I don't know if I'd go back there again. I love Clear and Brilliant.
It's a great laser. Do you do that for skin tonality or pigmentation? What did you do the Clear and Brilliant for?
A bit of everything. It's just an all-rounder. Yeah, it's just a nice little top up. I haven't done a lot of serious lasers. I try things every now and then, but I don't usually go through with the whole thing. I try it so I can write about it, but often it's quite a big process. I haven't done any major, like, full face peeling off type things. I think if your skin's okay, then don't mess with it. If it's not broken, don't fix it. So I try to just, when something's really bothering me, then I start looking for ways to fix it. But what else? I think, I haven't done a lot of many other cosmetic treatments.
Have you tried anything like the body shaping aesthetic?
Yeah, I've done cool sculpting, because you told me that cool sculpting was good.
It worked.
Yeah, it did. The first time it definitely worked. Second time was not as dramatic. But yeah, no, I liked it. Definitely liked that one at the time. That was pretty crazy, having your fat frozen.
It's very intense. It's not for the faint-hearted, and but look, it works. It kills the fat cells. And
what's the other one I was starting to try, but I couldn't because I had an IUD. I had a copper IUD. The one that does the pulses. I've just forgotten the name of it.
M-Skull?
Yes. So I went to have that, but at the time I had a copper IUD, and that was a contraindication. So so I've since changed. I'm going to go and try that. I've since changed my IUDs. Don't know if that's too much information, but now I can go and try it. So once lockdown's over, I'm going to try that one.
But speaking of contraception and hormone health, one of the things, there's a lot of research that's coming out at the moment saying that there is no such thing as metabolic rate dropping as you get older. It's all about hormone health. And from an ageless perspective, one of the things that I try to cover in each issue, and the experts that I like to have on, is to address the impact of hormones on beauty, on longevity, on vitality. Have you ever had anything like hormone consult, or have you gone down that path at all?
No, not yet. I would probably be interested to do it. I found that when I was, in my 20s taking the pill, it didn't agree with me. So that's why I've gone down the IUD path in my almost 40s, late 30s.
Because a lot of naturopaths are also working in that space, and homeopaths, naturopaths are really coming back to that balancing of the estrogen, balancing of the testosterone. And I think that when you look at anything to do with weight loss, mood, adult acne, it's such an important part of the conversation again. I'm just curious if you've come across anything that you're excited
I've done Chinese medicine. I've had needling and cupping and things that I think have some effect on that. But that has actually really helped as well. That's been something I've been doing over lockdown, is the dry needling, actually, because I get a lot of neck pain. So I find that really balances you all over, like just energy wise. And yeah, I'm a big fan of needling.
What about talking about your diet and exercise? What is your diet and exercise and supplementation now? What are you doing from all the things that we're sent and told about and exploring? What are the things that you've landed on that have made it onto your shelf, into your kitchen, into your fridge?
Sure. I am trying to do a few days of intermittent fasting, like yourself. Are you still doing your
7
fasting?
days? Yeah.
Yeah, I find that hard, just lifestyle wise, because sometimes I like to just have something yummy in the morning, and I'm obsessed with sourdough toast and avocado, so sometimes it's just but I do probably 3 days a week or 4 of trying to do the 16-8. Look, I've been reading this book by Matthew Walker, Why We Sleep. Have you read that?
No, but I've heard it's amazing.
So it's so fascinating. Yeah, it's really, really worth a read. It's just really opened my eyes to the effects of alcohol on sleep. Even one glass of wine, because we drink most nights. I mean, we're trying to curb it sort of Monday through Wednesday, but Damien's really into wine, so he's always opening different bottle, and he loves the story, and it's that ritual and the smell, and it's so hard to let go of. So that's my current sort of journey, and my struggle is like I know how much it's affecting my sleep. And then, once you read this book, you realize how important sleep is. Like this whole gold medal thing of, I only sleep 4 or 5 hours a night thing is just, it's so wrong. And there's, for so many years, we've been taught to believe that if we get up early and we work hard and we stay up late working, we're going to be better off in the long run. But for longevity, for illness, it's disease prevention, just it's so important to get your 7 or 8 hours sleep every night. And alcohol, unfortunately, you're not getting into that deep REM sleep or the NREM sleep, one of the two, but it basically, it's not restorative sleep. So you're not actually, I notice my memory is really bad. I mean, I've always had a bad memory, but I wonder if it's, maybe it's the alcohol and not sleeping properly, because you're not actually, your memories don't pass from the one part of your brain to the other if you're not getting that deep restorative sleep. So there's so many things it affects. So that's my current thing, is just thinking, okay, I need to dial back the alcohol, but that's a bit harder than we're trying Monday through Wednesday. But apart from that, so the intermittent fasting, and then to be honest, I was much better when you and I talked about it, when I was training with Ricardo and things. I was really good, but with kids, young kids, and they're so fussy. So, I'd probably be much more, plant-based eater if the kids weren't so annoying. They don't like salad and they never want vegetables. So we end up doing a lot of, family foods like bolognese and like Mexican food, but I'll try and swap out things. So I'll do like a corn tortilla for myself, which, there's amazing brand corn tortilleria that I love, that I always buy, that tastes so much better than the other corn tortillas. And then I've just discovered a pasta that I like. I was doing pulse pasta, but that tastes like rubbish.
It really does. So now I'm doing cardboard. I eat everything.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Since I did intermittent fasting, it's just opened up my ability to eat absolutely everything when I'm not fasting. And that's one of the reasons I'm so obsessed with fasting, because when I'm eating, I eat everything, like whatever I feel like, and because I feel like my body's got enough time to process
it. Oh, that's good. Do you still have your coffee though? Because you kind of break the fast with a coffee.
I have a coffee.
What time do you have that?
When I wake up.
Oh,
I'm really bad on water. I'm shocking on water. Do you drink water?
Yes, I do, but not as much as I should. I drink a lot of tea, like herbal teas and rooibos and green tea, matcha tea. So I think I'm getting my water in that way, but I love a hot drink. But yeah, I'm trying to curb the coffee as well. So to be honest, coffee doesn't agree with me. I get all jittery, but I love it. I love the smell. Again, I'm all into rituals. I love the smell of, and I love going to the cafe and the guy that knows my name, and I love all the social
Me
stuff
too,
about coffee. So it's
absolutely.
hard. It's hard to let go of those things.
Can I
But
ask
yes,
you, in your time as, beauty editor of Vogue, founder of Beauticate, again, we meet a lot of experts, we meet a lot of celebrities, we meet a lot of inspirational people. Is there anyone who, or any people that you've met in your journey that you've really been inspired by and you've gone, I'll have what she's having, or I'll have what he's having?
oh gosh, yeah. I mean, there's always people that you come across. I mean, even Elle Macpherson the other day on her launch for her new skin elixir, I was just like, oh my God, I need to get, what's she doing? She was doing some like chi machine. I was like, I need a chi machine. I'm very influenced by gorgeous people all the time. I think the Michael Mosley doco was, Eat Fast, Live Longer. I was really impacted by because he's very clever. Yeah, there's people all the time. Again, the book that I'm reading, we are exposed to so many of these amazing experts, aren't we?
What about celebrities? Have you ever met them and you've gone, you know what? They really radiate vitality, beauty, health. I really like what she's saying or what he's saying.
Yes, yeah. I mean, look, Miranda Kerr, I interviewed her the other week again, and she's always just so radiant, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy radiant. And I'm always like, oh, okay, yep, celery juice, okay, and the detox smoothie. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of our job, isn't it? Just to and you filter out all the crap as well. So there's a lot of stories, but yeah, no, she's a good example of someone.
She walks her talk. She's the cover of our Ageless magazine, and we did like a 10-page feature with her and the launch podcast. And I've known her like you for, I think, 10, 12 years, and it's consistent.
Yeah, she is very consistent, isn't she?
And she's dedicated and she's all over everything. So she's not one of those people who, is saying, I just drink celery juice. It's like I do the M-Sculpt, I do the celery juice, I walk, I have electromagnetic things attached to my brain to like, but I think, you know what, thank you for being honest. Thank you.
It doesn't come naturally. You didn't just wake up like this. I mean, there are models that just do that and they look great, but I mean, she's one of those that does that and everything else.
Yeah, I like that. A lot. Let's talk about skincare and beauty. I know that you consulted for a skincare brand. And, again, you're exposed to so many different brands. Tell me what your faithful ritual looks like, and then maybe where you kind of peak up or simplify.
Yeah, sure. So I'm always using cosmeceutical active skincare where possible, but then I'm always flirting with other brands because that's my job. At the moment I'm using Rationale again.
That's a good brand.
On that for years.
Beautiful Richard Parker. I just
interviewed
the other day. He's such an inspiration.
Yes. Yeah, he showed me the products before they launched, actually, years ago when I was at Vogue, and I was always transfixed by his knowledge, and and he's done amazing things with that brand. So back on Rationale, but I did the course of The Secret skincare.
I'm doing The Secret now. I'm 4 days in.
Good. Okay. Have you had any irritation, or have you been okay?
No, because I use such hardcore vitamin A. I use vitamin A every night. I use vitamin C. I use like actives. I'm devoted to actives. So I'm excited.
Oh, good. I'll be looking forward to hearing what you think. I had a really good experience too. I was really impressed with it. It's kind of, I don't think you're meant to go ongoing. Well, you're meant to change up, but they have like quite an intense cream, and then you go back to you take a break from that. So I'm on my break, so I thought I'll go and use something else. I'm gonna try that biomimetic skin DNA. The skin DNA where you get your genetic testing. So I've got to try that. I've got so many things on my table. I'm using Drunk Elephant serum at the moment. That's beautiful. Oh gosh, what else? I've got so many things. What am I loving? You know, when you just go blank.
No, it's true. And the thing is, we change it up so many times, you know. If
I wish I
you
was
like
in
a
my bathroom.
luxury,
I could just turn around.
do you like a luxury experience, or do you like a ritualistic experience? What do you like when you're exploring a brand?
Oh, look, I love them all. I mean, I love the luxury, like La Prairie is like, I still use La Prairie all the time. Their new oil.
Oil is amazing.
Amazing. So obsessed with that. And their eye creams, like the one with the little pearl applicator is heaven. But then I love the beautiful smelly ritual ones like Sadashi, all their body oils, and, you know, even Clarins, like just anything that smells great. Ritual is so important. I do a lot of bathing in my house, and just lots of body massages. I've been using a lymphatic drainage paddle as well to try and kind of shift the lymph around. So
I watched one of your videos on Beauticate when you were doing dry brushing, and it reminded me I need to be dry brushing again.
Yes.
I did do the dry brushing, and it really does work when you do it. It's like meditation. You know you should do it.
Get one in each hand.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's what I do, and that it cuts the time down. So you go like dung, 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 and you kind of get it done really fast. And then I'll do a shower, and then if I can muster the strength, I'll do a cold blast at the end, because that's, you know, the whole Wim Hof thing is, there's a lot of truth in that I think it makes a huge difference to.
It does. And if you know, you were saying about memory, it makes, if you can do the cold therapy, which I was having some issues with memory as well, the cold therapy was the thing that really worked for me in kickstarting my good memory.
Amazing. Well, I've been doing it at the surf, so I'll just plunge in at the end of a run and just jump in the water, and I can only last a few minutes, but that makes a big difference. And then the lymph. So the lymph paddle is like, you know, you just kind of, you have to be quite firm, but it really shifts that kind of lymphatic fluid through the body, and I think that makes a big difference to water retention. And I've also just got the heater, the infrared blanket, the infrared sauna.
Oh, did you get it?
My high, yeah. So I've been trying that, which is quite interesting. It's very hot, as you would expect. And
is it clean? I always have like this anxiety around you're going into a sleeping bag and you're sweating in it, and how do you keep it clean?
Yeah, it's a bit yuck. You wear clothes, so you sweat first into your clothes, and then you just throw them in the wash. So that, but it is you are aware. It's not like the good thing about the sauna is it all drips off you, and you're not sort of doesn't feel as hot. But having said that, once you get past that, it's, you know, it's quite it's a very good feeling of having a good sweat. And then you have to give it a bit of a spray afterwards and keep it clean. But I mean, it's a lot more affordable than the infrared saunas, so it's a good alternative.
It doesn't take any space, exactly. I'm going to wrap it up by asking you, from all the things that you've seen and all the places you've been, if there was one perfect, you know, treatment or product, what would it be to you? Like, what's the futuristic thing you're dreaming of?
Oh gosh, that's such a good question. I think the DNA, I think there's a lot in DNA longevity medicine, something around, you know, getting your genes tested and then really tailoring products to your individual body and how you're going to age. I think that's a really exciting way that things are going. And also towards, you know, illness and disease management and that kind of thing. So I think that's super exciting, and I'll be watching that space closely. Have you done DNA testing for health?
I've done 23andMe. I did the full test when they were still publishing the entire gene breakdown, but whereas they don't anymore, because too many people were alarmed by the depth of information. But
how did you find it? Did you like it, or was it
I love it, but I'm not an anxious person, and I like control. So for me, it was like so illuminating, so interesting, and it definitely has shaped the way I go about things. And in a strange way, I found that it gave me a lot of health and vitality confidence, knowing the things that I'm not predisposed to. And I found it super informative to just know about the things that I might be, you know, need to keep an eye on. And I'm all about genetic testing and information and the science of beauty. In science, I trust. I love the ritual of beauty. I'm Iranian. It's a huge culture of ritualistic beauty.
Yeah.
But it's the science that I have noticed has made, I'm 47 and you said you're 40. There's only so much, olive oil will take you.
Exactly. We have to look to science. It's the only way. So yeah, I'm the same as you. I think there's a lot of exciting advancements coming. So yeah, watch this space.
It was so good to talk to you. I loved it. I could speak to you forever.
Oh, me too. I miss seeing you in real life and
I know. Not long now.
But yes, thank you so much for having me. I love talking to you too. I always learn a lot from you as well. So, and
I would absolutely recommend watching Sigourney's videos because they are truly instructional. And I think it's lovely to have, an expert of your caliber taking the time not only just to tell stories, which I agree are important, but also the educational a little bit deeper than, what you would read in a press release. And I think you're doing an amazing job.
Oh, thank you, gorgeous. Thank you. That's very kind. And I love watching Ageless coming to fruition. It's fabulous. So well done.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sigourney. Bye. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, please share and rate this episode. I'd love that.